Hey BookTube, it's Peg, and welcome back to the History Shelf. Today is a Saturday Reads. I thought I'd make a quick video to just show you different things that I'm dipping into, books and periodicals, and yeah, just see if anything floats your boat here that I'm reading. I should give you guys a quick update.
She left me at the altar.
I did not leave her at
I've
the
been
altar.
jilted. My poor heart is broken.
No, no, that's not what happened. So, just in case any of you are wondering what I'm talking about, yes, Thursday morning we had an appointment at the courthouse. You know, to make it official, um, to take our nuptials. Uh,
Take our nuptials.
yeah, I tell you. Um, wouldn't you know it? And here I've been, complaining about not getting any snow,
Oh,
no snowstorms in Colorado, and like Wednesday night, then all of a sudden out of nowhere they're like winter weather advisory. 3 to 7 inches of snow, which turned into, you know, actually about 8 to 10 inches in the Denver metro area. So our parking lot was completely snowed in. We had no way to get out. We don't have a big truck, so
well, it
the
wasn't just the parking lot.
well, the courthouse had a yes. What do you mean?
I mean, it was the entire metro area was snowed in.
Yes, it was the entire metro area. It wasn't just our parking lot. I mean, I think yeah, that's what I'm just trying to say is that uh, we got up early to see what it would look like, and I called the courthouse, and they were on a delayed start, and it was just a nightmare, and there were accidents everywhere. So, long story short, we're going to reschedule. No one jilted anybody. Looking at you.
No,
Yeah,
nothing
so we'll
happened.
have we don't know what our date is just yet because we're gonna make sure we have our rings ready to go. That's the one thing we didn't have lined up. We're gonna line that up now, guys. Anyway, but anyway, thank you for all the well wishes that we received on the last video and the special announcement. And yeah, I promise you, we are not trying to drag this out or milk it for all it's worth.
There's no milking. There's zero milking.
There's zero milking. It was just, you know,
It's just stupid timing.
stupid timing, and the storm just came out. It was just bad, crappy timing for that
If it
storm
had
to
been the
roll in.
day before, the day after,
Yeah,
later in the
if
day,
it had been the day before, or the day after, or later in the afternoon, even we
yeah.
could have probably slogged our way out there. It's like a 30-minute drive out to the boonies where the courthouse is, and uh, anyway, having said that, we are still very excited, and we have our ring shopping date set up, so that'll be exciting. Anyway, so all good things. Things will happen. Um, hopefully in the next. We're
Well,
looking at April now, I think, right?
well, the jewelry, the appointment at the jewelers is in March,
Yes, we're
mid
get.
March.
Yeah, we have an appointment with the jeweler in March, mid March, and then it takes they make those rings made to order, right? So it could take 3 to 4 weeks or three
Well,
to five weeks to
yeah.
get them in our hands, and we like to have them when we go to the courthouse. At first, we weren't going to do that, and then as we were thinking about it, we're like, the snowstorm actually. I think that worked out well. I think it was supposed to happen that way, just because we didn't want the whole trip to the courthouse to seem like a trip to the DMV, like just something else to check off the list. We want to have as much of a ceremony as we can by the exchange of rings, which we didn't have ready to go. So anyway, guys, that's the update. We'll let you know when the new date is. Thanks again for all of your support and well wishes. We really appreciate it. You guys are awesome. We feel the love. So, all right. On that note, I'm sorry we got a 4 minute digression there, but anyway, what have I been reading in the midst of all of this? Quite a few things, and this is not even. There's a couple more books and I've mentioned before that I'm reading, so I didn't include them in this, but I wanted to show you a few that I'm reading right now. I am currently reading The Crown in Crisis: Countdown to the Abdication by Alexander Larman. This came out in last month. Um, It's by St. Martin's, put out by St. Martin's. It's funny. We just started. Well, I hadn't finished. I was not up to date on The Crown on Netflix, so we started watching it again. Martine was already caught up. She had watched it all the way through. She actually did sit through the Thatcher series, which was amazing. And props to you, babe.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, she's whatever. We like Gillian Anderson, so we wanted to see,
Yeah.
her
I wanted to
performance,
see her various stroke faces when she's
her
performing
various
the
stroke faces.
Barbara Catherine.
Yeah, she had some doozy facial expressions going on there. Um, but I had gotten this last month for a review copy, and I wanted to review it for you guys, and I am flying through it. I mean, I'm still in the early pages, but uh, yesterday afternoon, because we took off Thursday and Friday, thinking we were, celebrating, but we still just decided, we're taking the time off. So um, I just took this book upstairs, and I was in my rocking recliner, and I started reading this, and I just all that was missing was like some bonbons next to me. It was like, it's very. I was telling Martina, I'm like, gosh, I guess I'm into like the salacious stories about people's lives and stuff, because they were talking about Wallace and how she went to China and she learned some interesting sexual things, and I was like, what? And that was
Oh, yeah, she had
oh,
quite the reputation.
she had quite the reputation. She went to Shanghai, and I guess she learned from the sing song ladies.
Really good handwriting.
Yeah. And so, and then so this was all within the first like 30 pages. I'm learning about Wallace and her ancient Chinese secret skills. Um, but this is really good. It's really enjoyable. It's just a fun read so far. Just reading about how George the Fifth. I'm getting to it. It's right now. It's just in the beginning stages, like I said, where George the Fifth is like. I didn't know this. Queen Mary and George the Fifth actually, their favorite was Bertie. It was the younger son. It wasn't Edward or David, as he was known. And in fact, George the Fifth did not foresee good things for Edward. Upon him dying, he said that boy will ruin himself in 12 months after I'm gone. And so this is, you guys, it's a really good book. I'm really enjoying this. So I wanted to share that. I'll report back once I'm finished. But yeah, kind of reading it in tandem. We were just watching The Crown last night, and we're now in the season 4. Just started season 4, and um, oh, it's just great. I took a break from The Crown for a little while, but then I came back to it, and it was just got sucked back, right back in. Great acting. Love Olivia Colman.
But badly cast.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing. I don't know if any of you guys agree. If we got some Crown fans out there, but she's a wonder. She's a great actress, but Martina and I were talking about this. We think she was badly cast as Queen Elizabeth only because Olivia Colman has a very feeling face. Her expressions indicate so much care, and she, you can see where she's hurting, and I just don't see Elizabeth. I'm sorry, Queen Elizabeth.
No,
Well,
it's like
Queen Elizabeth,
Olivia Colman exhibits human emotion.
yeah,
Supposed to.
she exhibited human emotions. Um, Olivia Colman did. I can see that because I don't see Queen Elizabeth feeling things that visibly on her face. She might on the inside, but I think she really had and has a tight rein on her emotions. And in this, I think Olivia Colman, just because naturally her face is a very tender, a very kind and warm face, Olivia Colman. And I think, her eyes are extremely compassionate and expressive. And I think I just think in that case, it doesn't really reflect Queen Elizabeth. But anyway, moving on. Oh gosh, we go from that to this. Get ready. Oh lordy. Well, this is going to be, and I'm going to be doing a spotlight on my Casemate military histories that I love, and Casemate Publishing, which I love. But this is one of the ones I'm reading right now, and it's really good. It's really riveting, and this is the Canton Massacre. 1940, History of a Crime by Thomas Urban. This was put out by Pen and Sword. Um, so I've talked before about a book I finished, the Soviet Judgment at Nuremberg, and by Francine Hirsch, and I'm excited to say I will be doing an author interview with her next month. We're setting that up, so I'm really excited. I'll be doing a more formal book review of that book, hopefully this week. But anyway, it covered a lot of how the Soviets were trying to cover up and blame the Germans for the Canton Massacre. And if you don't, so the Canton Massacre, what was that? In 1940, about 4,000, if you can believe it. No, even more than that. I'm sorry. It's 4,000 officers, but total there were 22,000 people. It was Stalin's secret police. They basically, in the spring of 1940, just summarily murdered, executed 22,000 Polish officers, ensigns, and state officials near a Russian village named Katyn, and other places. But Katyn really represents, I think in Katyn Forest itself it was 4,000, but in and around that village, others were executed, and it totaled over 20,000. So the Soviets were always trying to cover their tracks and blame the Wehrmacht, Germans, and the Germans were like, "Hey, you know what? We've got plenty of we've got plenty of atrocities on our hands, but this is not one that we did. This is all you." And of course, the Soviets at Nuremberg trials, they were trying to pin the Katyn massacre on the Germans, and it did not work. It did not fly. Based off of mostly two, and this is where this book is. Thomas Urban is claiming that he's the new evidence here, because this has been written about many times before. The new evidence really is the recollections of the two German coroners that were on site. They were eyewitnesses to this, who testified at Nuremberg and really just blew the whole case up for the Soviets, and helped put the truth out there. But anyway,
I think there's a lesson here.
yes. What is the lesson?
Like, it's kind of a variation of the boy who cried wolf. If you're going to be a Nazi and you're going to go around massacring people, don't look annoyed or surprised when other people go, "And you did this one too," and you're like, "No, I did everything else."
That's right. Did everything else in the room, but not this one.
Yeah, this particular bloodbath was not us.
Right.
Everything else.
It was, right. Everything else was theirs.
Busy at the time,
but
killing other people.
Thank you, Martine. That's why I'm marrying this lady. So this is a really, it's just a really well put together book. I'm really enjoying it. It's giving me some extra details on the Katyn Massacre, which, I've heard about in my various general readings on World War II. So I was happy that with the Francine Hirsch book, The Soviet Judgment at Nuremberg, kind of really delved into that a little bit more. And this one is extremely going into extreme detail. So, me, I like to examine things as much as possible, like topics, issues, things that happened. I like to read as much on it as I can, to fully understand it. And so that's what I'm currently reading. It's really good. Thomas Urban, The Canton Massacre, Pen and Sword Books. Another great release from Casemate. Gosh, there's so many things. Okay. Before I get to the fiction, I'll just mention two of the books that, one of them I'm reading for Lent. It's a read-along, a Lenten devotional read-along with, a few of us on Instagram, an Instagram group. Many of the booktubers Christy Lewis at Dostoevsky in Space, and I think Scott from the Bookish Bryants, and Rainy Day Reads. is also on it, and a few more. So I apologize, I'm not remembering everybody just now, but we are reading Charles Spurgeon's John Plowman's Talk, or Plain Advice for Plain People. It's a very skinny little volume and very short little chapters, but kind of written in the colloquial sermonistic style of Spurgeon, and like each chapter is kind of a different topic. Like this one's on gossips. The first chapter was great. It was like on idle people, on patience, things like that. Just just something to kind of read in the morning or at night, however you choose to do it, and just to, kind of center yourself spiritually.
I need to read that.
You want to? Okay. It's quite, he's very colloquial in the sense of and he makes a lot of, it's because it's John Plowman, so he's talking in terms of like farms, the earth, farming, harvesting. So he's making analogies that have to do with like nature and things like this, and it's interesting. He's very clever.
Probably go through it and go guilty.
Guilty. Yeah, I know. It does point it out for sure. And I'm also working my way through, you can't see my bookmark, The Theology of Jeremiah, the book The Man, the Message by John Goldingay. I'm reading this in conjunction with my actual reading of the book of Jeremiah in the Bible. And I was able to get this copy. So happy because, I've talked before about the commentaries that I'm finding so far on Jeremiah, or the ones I have, are not doing it for me. This one has an interesting structure that is, it gives me a lot more context and background, and kind of lays out the chapters and the main themes of each chapter and who's speaking, because it can be very, it can be very difficult reading Jeremiah, because there's like not poems, but you know what I mean. It's like they go into verse where it's the Lord speaking, but then all of a sudden it changes and it's Jeremiah speaking back to him, or to Judah, which is the land of, the people of Judah, and you can get really turned around and like, who's speaking to whom here, So this book is very helpful in helping me navigate just the format of Jeremiah, which is just, a book of prophecy, and there's Jeremiah talking back to God, and then there's Jeremiah talking to the people of Judah, and then there's just God talking to everybody, and you just have to really figure out your way through it. But I'm on chapter 18 right now in the book of Jeremiah, so I'm kind of reading this as I progress and reading it in tandem to help me. So that's kind of what I'm doing, like theologically and for Lenten devotionals and stuff like that. Before I get to the periodicals, I'll point to two books of fiction. I'll start with the classics here. I think you guys know, if you're following this channel or any of the others with the Brothers Karamazov read-along, I am, am still reading the Brothers Karamazov, with the Codex Cantina, Christy Lewis, Dostoevsky in Space, Victoria at a Musical Bookworm, and we just had our live stream on Thursday night, and where we talked about books 5 through 7, and that's where I'm at right now. Smack dab in the middle, you guys, and we're reading this through March, so starting, I'm in book 8 now, book 8, chapter 2. And I'm enjoying it. In fact, you're going to be seeing me hauling some Dostoevsky biographies very shortly. I'm fascinated by the themes of this book, which are very heavy on deep philosophical and theological themes. Like what is the meaning of suffering? Why is there suffering? And why would a good God allow the suffering of children, and does God exist? And then issues on freedom and free will. And wow, I mean, this is definitely gonna need a reread, and also a guided reread, because I would love to have some type of oh, commentary, not like a biblical commentary, but more of a literary guide to help me understand what Dostoevsky was doing here. But it also requires me to learn more about the man himself. So that's why I decided to invest in biography on him. And I am going to be delving into the man himself. I am very fascinated to do that. And I probably should have started Crime and Punishment first, because this Brothers Karamazov is supposed to be his epic and his, it was his last novel before he died. So, I mean, this is supposed to be like the pinnacle of his thought and his work. And so, I mean, I'm I'm diving way into the deep end right now with this book. But you know what? I'm being challenged, and I love it. And I'm looking forward to continuing this, continuing on. So I'll be continuing to read that in March. Okay. So, and then I've got something fluffy and lightweight, because you have to have something just fluffy and lightweight. This is I have an advanced reader copy of this, so this won't be the final cover, but I will be writing a little review on this for the historical novels review, which is this one. You've heard me mention it before, and I was going to show you this in my periodical stack. I just got this in the mail. This was from the last issue. This is the February 2021. I have a couple of reviews actually in here, listed in here. But yeah, so I review books for historical novels review, and this one kind of goes into my love of like thrillers and spy stuff and World War. It's not Brad Thor. This is Hunting the Hangman by Howard Linsky. Again, this is just an advanced proof, so it's it'll look different. Another book that Howard Linsky has already written, which is out, I think it's called Ungentlemanly Warfare. I think it's also set in the World War II period. But this one is really good, and I need to finish this actually in the next 2 weeks to write my review. But I'll read a quick description for you. It's 1941. The Third Reich is at its zenith. Its protector is Reinhard Heydrich, the most merciless senior figure in Hitler's inner circle, and the Fuhrer's eventual successor. Under Heydrich's oppressive command, thousands of lives have already been erased in Czechoslovakia's capital. It's only Heydrich's first ruthless step in service to the German people. Heydrich's ultimate endgame is the final solution. But under the cloak of night, the resistance conspires as well. Trained in subterfuge by the British Special Operations, Joseph Gabchik and Jan Kubis are unfailingly dedicated soldiers. Now, as committed Allied agents, they've been tasked with an audacious and seemingly impossible mission: parachute into an occupied city in lockdown, rally the remaining Czech rebels, and assassinate one of the most dangerous men alive. Outmanned against insurmountable odds, Gabchik and Kubis have no choice but to succeed. The fate of Europe and the world is in their hands. I'm really enjoying this so far. The writing is on point. It's that nice, clean, tight type of dialogue that I like, which is sometimes missing in some of these thrillers. And I like the fact that the two main heroes here, one is a Czech and one is a Slovak, and they're trying to just fight back to get their country back and to exact some revenge for what has happened to their fellow countrymen. So I'm digging it. And he also kind of like writes chapters and from Heydrich's perspective, and that's really chilling and creepy. Creepy Nazis, people. Stay away from creepy Nazis. You know what I'm saying. So, Hunting the Hangman. Oh, and this is coming out. Maybe it already is out. Yeah, it's coming out this month. Doesn't say the date here. Yeah. Boom. So I'm enjoying that. Okay. I think. Am I losing the light? Should I put this? I'm gonna turn this lamp on. See if that helps. There we go. Okay. And then in addition to just the books that I'm reading, and of course I'm dipping into some others No, I'm not dipping in. I'm still reading 77 Letters. I mentioned that book before. It's great. It's fantastic. Oh, and then another book I need to start soon, because this is also for a review. This is for the Book Browse review. This is fiction. And this is due on March 23rd. So I need to start reading this week. This is The Blizzard Party by Jack Livings, a novel. It's put out by Farrar, Straus and Giroux. Let's see, on February 6, 1978, a catastrophic nor'easter struck the city of New York. On that night, in a penthouse in the Upper West Side stately Appel's apartment building, a crowd gathered for a wild party. And on that night, Mr. Albert Haynes Caldwell, a partner emeritus at Swank, Brady and Plesher, Harvard class of 26, father of 3, widower, atheist, and fiscal conservative, hatched a plan to fake a medical emergency and toss himself into the Hudson River, where he would drown. In the eye of the storm, Hazel Saltwater, age 6. The strange events of that night irrevocably altered many lives, but none more than hers. The Blizzard Party is Hazel's reconstruction of the facts, an exploration of love, language, conspiracy, auditory time travel, and life after death.
They just threw that in there.
Yeah, auditory time travel.
Sure.
Okay, why not? Cinematic, with a vast cast of characters and a historical scope that spans World War II Poland, the lives of rich and powerful Manhattanites in the late 1970s, and the enduring effects of 9/11, Jack Livings' The Blizzard Party is an epic novel in the form of a final farewell. Oh, wow. Okay, so, so this is another work of fiction that I'll be starting shortly. Nothing here qualifies for either March Mystery Madness or, I guess maybe this one, but I don't know if it's a mystery. Or the March of the Mammoths, where you read a massive mammoth 800-page or more book in March, or at least start it. Nothing here applies to that, so I'm probably going to make a couple other videos. I was debating on whether to even get involved, but with March Mystery Madness. But of course, I would love to have a mystery going on in March. I haven't read a mystery in a little bit, in a minute, so I have some options. So I think I'm going to make a video for March Mystery Madness. If not today, then tomorrow, and get that posted with my options and probably what I'm going to read. As far as the March of the Mammoths, I might have a couple of contenders. I know I do. All right, guys. So, hi, periodical times. And so, in addition to the books that are always coming across the desk and the books I'm reading, I get a ton of periodicals because I love to read and learn. I mean, I'm just stating the obvious that you've heard before. Got the new issue of the March 2021 issue of Military History. Right there. There we go. Rogue U-boat. Woo. I also got the April. I already got the April issue of Naval History, which is put out by Naval Institute Press. I subscribe to Naval History magazine. It's very cool. Of course, I got my, let me get my tag off of here. Got my new issue of Archaeology. Love it. The photography in this magazine is just outstanding. Even just for the photos alone. But I love the articles. And I'm way behind on all my periodicals. Yes, I am. And then I think I had done a quick, I just decided to do a reduced subscription rate, introductory offer for this magazine. And I don't think I'm going to renew just because I have a ton of magazines already and periodicals. But I still have a couple left on this subscription. This is World War II History, which is it's a fine magazine. It's in, the same type of layout as Military Heritage, and I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll renew. Martine's like, God bless.
You can just move everything. That's
No, yeah. So I got that. Of course, I'm always getting. I enjoy the TLS. Got one of the latest issues of the TLS, Times Literary Supplement. Ooh, yeah, I'm gonna read that. And then, another magazine which is fantastic for photography and just illustration and artwork and things like that. But I love it. And these I do save. And I've bought like the Tupperware bins to store these in, but the beautiful National Geographic History magazine. This is the most recent. Magellan's Fatal Voyage, Rough Passage. This is the March-April. 6 issues a year, but they're beautiful. You all right there, Goldie? Okay. Anyway, so as you can see, a lot to dive into. So if it's not, books that I'm reading, I've got my nose in one of my journals or periodicals, magazines, history magazines, whatnot. Do you have anything else to say, honey?
Nope.
Nope, she's good. Still wanna tie the knot?
It depends on the amount of subscriptions you want to keep.
No. It does not depend on that. No, it's good. Okay, so this was our Saturday reads, books and stuff, books and periodicals, and got more videos I need to make. But for now, I will upload this, guys, and hope you're having a great Saturday and a great weekend. And take care, and we will talk to you soon. Bye.